Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and this is a special event. This is our first official live book launch show. I am super excited and extremely grateful to have had this amazing opportunity to work with 11 other authors to design this book to help inspire other people come out of the darkness and be their own lighthouse. Our book is titled Adversity to Awesome, and it was launched in the middle of the night. And I'm proud to say that as of an hour ago, it became an Amazon #1 new release. Joining me for the show today is my dear friend and book coach. He and I have been working together diligently twice a day, even on the weekends, getting this all together so that it was available to be published and be an amazing experience for you, the reader. Our authors are fantastic and outstanding. They are here today, and they will share a little bit of their backstory with you and also let you know how you can connect with them and what it is that they're working on. The master of ceremonies today is my book coach and friend, and he's an author himself. He is here, Red Laughlin. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so very much, Dr. JACALYN. I'm honored to be here with you today. And congratulations on becoming #1 best-selling Amazon author. It's the second time now. 2 books out of 2 books, #1. You're going to catch Robert if you don't watch it. He's got a lead, but you might catch him.
Well, thank you, Red. And I have to say that a lot of it has to do with your coaching. So you've been coaching me on what it is I need to do. And in addition to that, we have some superstars who are here with us who have written their own chapter. And I want us to actually go through the process, but you're going to take us through all that and you're going to be introducing everyone. So I'm going to turn the show over to you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Dr. JACALYN. We have a number of authors. We don't have every single one of them today, but we have most of them. And we're going to be introducing them as they appear in the book. The very first person is going to be Robert J. Moore, and he's going to be up here in just a moment. And I will do a very brief introduction, just a few seconds, and then I'm going to turn over and let him be spotlighted. And again, get a little bit about the backstory of who you are, what happened, and where you are today. But more importantly, what is the value the reader is going to get from your chapter? And probably more important than that is, if the audience wants to connect with you down the road, what's going on in your world that they should be aware of. So that's going to be roughly a 3-minute window. And I'm going to show back up again at about 30 seconds to go. So when you see me sharing the window with you, you know you're down to your last 30 seconds. And that's kind of what the rules are today. So I'll do a very brief introduction for each person, and we'll just go on down the road. So that's the ground rules, and we're going to be done in about 36 minutes. So first person today, Robert J. Moore. He is a magnetic entrepreneur. Robert, please join us.
Hey, how are you?
Exceptionally well, as always. So I'm going to turn the studio over to you. Please, it's yours, and I'll be back in about 2.5 minutes, and we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, no worries. So you want me to talk about what I was before and how I got to where I am, basically?
You got it in 2.5 minutes.
This is the first. This is the first doing it in 2.5 minutes. I've been only on stage and go 12 hours. Okay, well, listen, I mean, I was a drug addict, alcoholic, 16 years in and out of jail, living on the streets for 7 years. That sums up that part. That's the quickest I could say that one. And when you look at the situation, I decided I didn't want to live that life no more. I lived a bad life. I was directed by alcohol, held hostage by it, I could say. What happened was I didn't want to live that way no more, so I decided to get the help. Today I'm 16 years clean and sober. I decided to get another addiction, and that was education at the time, because I didn't do the education, put doctor in front of my name, or to put the credentials behind my name. And I only say this for me, not anybody else. The reason why I did it, though, is to find out who I was so I can empower and help other people. So I went and got my social service worker diploma, my addictions degree, my BA in psychology, master's in counseling psychology, my harm reduction, mental health crisis, and 2 honorary doctorate degrees. As you can see, I've been in Forbes magazine, Guinness World Records. I love breaking the rules. I love going out of my way and making sure people understand that it could be done. I love showing people that it can be done. I don't do things inside the box. I do it outside the box. The reason why I go outside the box is because I'm not limited. You aren't either. There's no reason why you should be limited. So in the chapter, basically talks about the challenges of where I was, where I'm at today. And you know what? To be in Forbes, I didn't want to be in Forbes. Everybody else wanted to be in Forbes. I didn't care about being in Forbes because I'm not the kind of guy to say, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm the kind of guy to say, listen, I'm waking up in the morning. Now I can bless you with something new. Now, who can I bless today? That's what I love working with. I'm going to be honest with you. This thing here, I love because it's my 130th book I'm in. 130th book. I love it. I'm going to be going more. I'm a publisher. I got a radio station. I coach people business-wise. I was a therapist for 15 years. And you know what? Anything can happen in your life that can change if you want it to change. If you want things to be stagnant, then you're going to have to be that way. I left people behind because they were stagnant. I don't like stagnant stuff. I love proving to people outside the box is better because there's no limits. The sky's unlimited. You can't reach the sky, but I'll tell you right now, you can make endless results. Those endless results are impossible to reach. Impossible to reach. Why? Because they're endless. So what I do is I put myself 10 years in advance and I chase that person. That's what I like to look like in 10 years. That's the kind of money I like in my bank. That's the kind of person I want to be. That's the personality I want to be. That's what I like going on in my life. So I'm chasing that person. You'll never catch up, but you'll be that person. And that's one of the biggest things I can say. And that's the fastest I've ever said anything in my life. And I think that was less than 3 minutes.
Yes, that probably was. It's 2.5 minutes right now. So you do a fantastic job.
That's a first. That's a first. I mean, normally I was given 5 minutes before, and it was like hard to do, you know. But I've learned how to tell my story in 90 seconds, 90 hours, and 90, you know, whatever. Don't matter how it is.
Well, your story was so special. We were trying to figure out who's going to be #1 chapter, and basically, you earned the right for that. Everybody has a fantastic story. It's just amazing in so many different ways. But we thought that your accomplishments after you decided to change your life around was something that warranted. Let's put you in the front of the book and show what can happen.
Yeah, I certainly appreciate that. It's an honor. I appreciate that.
And 130 books, I congratulate you too.
My goal is a lot more than that. You know, a lot more than that.
Well, let me bring up our next author. Robert, thank you so very much.
Cheers.
A lot of times things happen because of situations. TEUTA's situation is extremely unusual, and I'm going to let her just briefly tell that one. So please join me on stage, TEUTA.
Hello, everybody. I would like to thank Dr. JACALYN for involving me in this project and to be in this book. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you so much because I want to share the story and I want to inspire other people with my story, because by telling our story, we become the story. So I would like to say, I just want to introduce myself very briefly. My name is TEUTA AVDYLI. I am author of the 2 books. The first one, Born to Stand Out and Not to Fit In, which became a bestseller in Amazon. And my second, recently published, Family Legacy of Love. I'm a motivational speaker. I am a transformation and a parenting coach. Now I am regarding what I want to share, standing where I am this moment. It wasn't easy. It was a long journey with a crooked path, rough roads, but every lesson learned was worth every pain. Allow me to tell you just a bit of my story. It was September 2016, and I thought now I am completely free after 10 years staying at home, stay-at-home mom. I thought now I can do my own things and to create my own dreams. But little did I know that I was getting to meet something that will change my life forever. I was with my bicycle I loved cycling, and I cycled for 13 years. And no matter the weather, rainy or shiny, and then I got my bicycle and I stopped at the traffic lights. When out of blue, I heard a huge bang. I was flung to the side of the road and knocked down on the ground. I couldn't comprehend from the sunshine to the darkness. So soon I found myself at the hospital bed. There in hospital bed, I was fighting for my life. But the doctor couldn't believe the miracle I became. I found my greatness. I found my purpose. So the value that I want to bring to people in this book is, please write this down. Live life to the fullest. Take the lead of the little you have, because if you take the lead of the little you have, you will become bigger. It is only little to something that is greater. Before the accident, I was not living my greatness. I was living little. But after the accident, I started to live in my greatness. I was living little that I was ready to die in any form or shapes of me to give birth to the woman that I was meant and intended to be. Live life to fullest. Enjoy the power of present, because everything is uncertain. I never knew how precious life is until I was gasping for another breath, until I wanted to take another breath. Our life is not defined by how many breaths we take, but the moment that I take our breath away. I never knew that how precious life is until I found myself laying down on the ground, and all I wanted is just to live. And it didn't matter if I had the leg, if I had the arms, but just to have my heart and my mind. I tell also, and also I would like to finish with one quote that Les Brown says, "It is never finished until you win." And it doesn't matter where you are now. If you go through if you are going through difficulties or any challenges, no matter the weather, you can bring your own sunshine, because you are uniquely, wonderfully made in the image of God. Thank you very much. If you want to contact with me, then please do TEUTA.com or in Instagram, TEUTA AVDYLI, Facebook. So thank you very much.
And thank you again, Teuta. In your particular case, a truck ran over you and something just happened right then and there. And I mean, it just changed your life. John's coming up next, a fellow aviator. And his story is one that something didn't happen instantly, but took a long time to happen. And it was one of those ones that you weren't even really sure what was going on at the time. So, John, thank you, Teuta. And John, if you would please join us.
Yes, I'm here. Hello, Red.
Howdy. And I'm going to leave it with you again, a pilot. Everyone I know, I'm an aviator, and the people I know love to fly, and I'm sure that's what your world was, but that world wasn't meant to exist forever. And I'm going to let you give a little bit of your story there, and I'll be back and catch you in about 2.5 minutes.
Okay, it's about 3. As a career pilot, I've been happy to support Dr. JACALYN's book with a chapter which might have been called "Don't Shoot the Messenger." After 16 years of severe ill health whilst airline flying, I stumbled across the cause of mass public ill health in 2006, which had first been published in 1999 by 3 international scientists, aerotoxic syndrome. But does this inconvenient illness exist 2 decades after its discovery? Anyone who has been nearly killed by something wants to know exactly what caused their death, plus the premature deaths of countless other flyers. When the cause is modern jet airliners, there is another factor which has nothing to do with science or medicine: money. We all understand that we cannot unknow something once we know about it, and the fact that eventually in the future society will know the truth. But when all flyers, passengers and aircrew are vulnerable to being poisoned from exposure to toxic cabin air, even on a single flight, it must surely make sense for those who have been injured to be treated intelligently and allowed to warn others of a known danger. I'm aware that my chapter is strong, but after so many decades of being told that there is no positive evidence, I'm embarrassed by the way that money controls science, medicine, and the media, where money is used to cover up the truth. Talking of money, after 16 years of campaigning, I've met countless others who have joined the David and Goliath fight over basic science, and where others have their stories but are not believed either and are now financially bust. I don't feel awesome. As professional flyers, we're just doing our public duty and jobs, yet it was a living hell to be invisibly ill for the middle third of my life, only to know that dirty money has been used to pervert the course of justice, to keep aerotoxic covered up from the public. It should seem obvious that what professional aircrew get, so do passengers, including children, mums-to-be and the elderly. So the US Cabin Air Safety Act of 2022 has been published, which will force eventual compliance with calls for education and carbon monoxide sensors, as at the moment only noses are used. I'm one of the lucky ones, as I've regained most of my good health. However, only a few survivors dedicate their lives to helping others. So if you're in a position to help win this game where money is the currency, please do buy the book, help fund real research, and make clean money from the known and available solutions, as the next generation of flyers must learn from our greed. I hope that Dr. J's book sells well, as it explains how a few can make a difference. Thank you very much, Red. That's it.
John, appreciate that very much. Understand that, sometimes things happen and it's just so gradual, so incremental. It takes literally a long, and so is there really something wrong with me? And that's kind of the situation you went through.
Absolutely.
And other times you have something that's wrong and maybe it's just, there's so many symptoms, or it takes forever because the disease you have or the medical condition just takes forever to this is exactly what you got. And that sort of worked that way on yours, but it worked that way specifically in our next author, and that's going to be Trish. So thank you so very much, John. Really appreciate your help today.
Yes. Bye.
Trish, please join us. You're muted.
Hello, Red. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me, Dr. JACALYN.
Anytime. And I'll be back and catch you here in a little over 2 minutes, and I'll let you have the floor. And again, a member of my family, I know this disease very, very well, and I'm going to let you just touch on it as you want, because I know it's very critical to things that's important in your life.
Thanks, Red. Thanks, Red. As Red said, my name's Trish Rabasho, and I was a thief and an active addict. I am now a career advocate and a mentor to many. Most of the time I spend coaching entrepreneurs with disabilities on how to build a business that will support them, and even when their health is rocking the boat, so to speak. Goodness gracious, I came from the best part of town. My mother couldn't understand when I was 12 years old why, since I had a TV and a phone in my room in the 70s, why wasn't I happy? And why wasn't I happy? I still remember I was about, I'm going to say about 8 or 10 years old, her asking me, yelling at me, why are you crying? What could you be so unhappy about? Well, turns out when I was 10 years old, I was already depressed. I started stealing food from the fridge when I was 6 years old because my mother thought I was fat and she was trying to control everything that went into my body. So addiction started early. It was food. The food, eventually, by the time I was 12, I was shoplifting. And then shoplifting led to embezzlement. And embezzlement almost led to jail. And oh my goodness, it was only by the sake of God and the presence of my husband that saved my life, paid my restitution, and I was living a godless life. Funny, when I was like 8 years old, I told my mother I wanted to be a missionary. She sent me to a family therapist. But there was no God in my house. It was all about business, and it was always expected I would go into business. And it was a lot of pressure. You know, if I didn't get A's, then why weren't they A's? And if I got A's, why weren't they A pluses? Well, you know what? There's so many people that struggle with what I'm struggling with. When I was eventually diagnosed with MS, I was 30 years old. And you know what? I never once asked myself, why me? Because I believed that this was payback from the punitive God that I met when I was in Catholic school when I was a child. But you know what? It was through 12-step I found out that God is not punitive. God loves me no matter what. And you know what? My messages that I took away from all of that are twofold. And one is that it didn't have to go down like that. So guess what? I lost my job as in spite of my MS, as a result of my MS. So I wrote a book about it. I wrote a book about how to accommodate people with disabilities in the workplace. And secondly, second lesson was, you know what? I am lovable, and God loves me, and God loves you too. And please know that no matter how bad it gets, it can get better. It's all about attitude, balance, and communication. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so very much. And again, MS is one of those diseases that it takes forever and ever and ever to make sure that that's exactly what you got. And then even then, it's difficult to treat. And I know you're a big advocate for that particular.
Yes. Many.
And with our next guest coming up here, Frank is one of a couple people here in the book who believes, and I don't know any other way to say it, a supernatural presence helped him make a change in his life, and that's kind of where we're at right now. So, Frank, I'm going to bring you on board and let you tell your story of what happened and where you got and how you got there today. You're muted.
I'm so sorry. Hello. I don't know what's going on with this screen, but we do our best. I'm Frank SOONIUS. I'm the author of the book Trapped in a Dream, Never Lose Your Drive. And so many people ask me the question, why did you write the book? It's a simple question. Well, for me, writing this book was a moral obligation. I found a man 5 years ago. I saw a man on TV, Nick Vujicic, the man with no arms and legs. And he told the world, if you find your why, you know, there are 3 important days in your life. The day you're born, the day you find your why, and the day you start living your why. And for me, that was that day that a man with no arms and legs told you, hey, listen, guy, you've been to something that the world has to know. The world has to know how you find your why. And I found my why. And why I wrote Trapped in a Dream, Never Lose Your Drive is because so many people are living in a prison with the door wide open. Well, I lived also in a prison with the door closed. And I had to fight my way back from sanity. I lost it. I lost it because I thought I was on top of the world, but I lost it One day I lost it all complete. And I was sentenced, put in jail, went through all that stuff. And then I thought I have a second chance of life. And I was enjoying my second chance of life. But then there was Nick. And Nick said, it's your moral obligation. You find your second life. You find your chance. So now help people get out of the prison because their door is wide open. And it is so important that we all live our best life, our gift to this life, our purpose. Because if we don't, so many people are waiting for you to push them out of the prison. People need to know that there's always a second, third, fourth, fifth chance. There's always tomorrow to change. I had to change. And because of that change, I became the author of this amazing book that's already called in England the Bible of the 21st century. Trapped in a Dream, Never Lose Your Drive. Will bring you to the real purpose in your life. And you will be the gift you were always meant to be. And that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. Push everybody to the best chapters of their lives. So yeah, that's my mission for now. And you can find me on trappedinadream.com. On my link tree, you can all see. And I'm so blessed to be in this book. Dr. JACALYN, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And I hope the book will go to the top. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Frank. In fact, Nick's comment, one of the things you put in the book, was so prescient while we were doing the book that I included it in the introduction. In fact, it's the last paragraph in the introduction. I gave him credit because that's basically him. When you have something to share, you should be sharing it. And I read that thing and I said to Dr. JACALYN, I said, that needs to be in the book because that's really what this book is about, is sharing our stories with the world. So thank you very much for including that in your chapter.
Thank you.
And Caroline, I believe, is next. And I'm not sure whether Caroline is Caroline or Carolyn. And I'm going to let her tell me here in just a second. So please join me.
Hello, it's Caroline.
Okay. Caroline has a very interesting story. And just like Frank was trying to find the why in his life, there was a lot of questions that Caroline had early in her life that answers just didn't seem to come. And I'm going to let you take front stage here and let the world know what your story's about.
Thank you. Well, I want to start by saying it's an absolute honor to be part of this book and to have been able to contribute a chapter, Dr. JACALYN. Really, my hand on my heart, I feel so blessed to be here because it's my first time being an author, so thank you. My journey started way back, over 2 decades ago, and I lost my dad. My dad passed away in 2000. And without spoiling the story for you, because I don't want to spoil the story, I was a very successful corporate girl and had everything: the money, the fame, the social status, everything that you could want. I was famous, pictured in press, in magazines, and there was something very missing, but I didn't actually know what it was. When my father died, something changed in me. That something changed me for the rest of my life. And I moved into what I became aware of 6 months later was a depression. And when I became aware of that depression, that's what changed my motivation of how I lived my life with the big questions. One of those big questions was, who am I? What am I doing here? And that is the story that I unfold in my chapter, the story of those questions, where it led me. And I started to explore different things because I thought I followed everything that I was told to follow that would give me happiness, success, and inner peace. But I wasn't there. And my story is about moving from grief to peace ambassador. And what I want to share with you, the key things that I want to share with you to take away, is that it is possible to live in complete inner harmony and inner peace. All you have to do is to move out of the mind. Our establishments tell us that everything is about our thinking mind and our way of being in the mind. But actually, I found the way to get into your heart and to live like children do in a place of inner peace and inner bliss. And what I do is I offer a free consultation via Zoom to offer that experience to everyone that I speak to, because whatever you're complaining about, whatever stress you have, whether it's stress, anxiety, depression, whether it's physical or emotional pain, repeating patterns, there is a reason that that's there. And it's about our learning. And when we learn what that ache and pain is all about, it is about the movement out of the pain into inner peace. And what I do is I like to take people from pain to peace. And that's one of the reasons why I landed up being awarded as an ambassador for peace in 2019 by the Universal Peace Federation. I feel honored and blessed to be able to share my short chapter in the book to give you some insight and some hope and some aspiration that anything is possible to live your dream.
Thank you, Caroline. Amazing story. Really, just like every story in there has its own uniqueness, and yours again is very unique in many, many ways. Our next author coming up is a well-known face on USA Global TV, and that's Roland. And Roland, as part of his life that's missing, early childhood is just it's a dark hole. And I'm going to turn the spotlight over to Roland and let him talk a little bit about his chapter and the rest of the things in his life right now that are important.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I feel very blessed and honored to be part of this book and this community. Well, actually, I found it was easier to talk about the book than hear an audience. But you know what? It's a kind of a healing process for me too. So for my story, I went to several traumas in my early childhood. I was sexually abused and had a very dark time. And then later, my brother passed away. My beloved brother passed away. So I felt so alone that I travel. I'm a world traveler all the time. I'm a restless world traveler sometimes, and I was always traveling with his ashes, always with me. And luckily, a few weeks ago, I let him go into the ocean, the sea, before I left my home, Mallorca. Yeah, but what I want to tell you is about what I learned from that. The point is, I was always a person that was full of love for every creature, for every person, full of empathy, but I didn't show it, and people misunderstood me, like my partners I had in past, and because I couldn't show it. The reason for that is I had such a huge gray wall around my heart and my emotions just to protect myself. So first of all, what I want to tell you is, whatever happened to your life, have a deep look at it. I know it's not easy to look at the shadows, but have a deep look at it and work on it and heal yourself for your own benefit, but also for the benefit of the beloved ones around you. That's one thing I want to give you. Whatever it was in love, don't be ashamed or feel guilty. Heal it. Look for somebody who can help you heal it. And secondly, what I learned in my life, and this was I want to give you an advice, is we don't always have in control what issues or events we are facing. We don't have always in control what somebody is saying to us or even doing to us, hurting us, like happened to me and many, many others. But what we have in control, and this distinguishes us from animals that react on a more instinct level, is, and I don't say that it's easy, but what we have in control is we have the freedom of choice how we react on it. And I can tell you that you can use it as an excuse or feel as a victim, or you can use this as a fool for your energy to live the life to the fullest purpose and reach your goals, whatever you want to do. So if you want to reach out to me, to make it short, go to my website. It's my name, rolandfriedl.com. I can spell it. It's ROLANDFRIEDL.com. I'm very happy to hear from you. And to just end it up, I always say, don't think outside the box. Think there isn't even any box for you. Feel free. Live a full life to the fullest. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Roland. Living life to the fullest is, I think, everybody's goal. Our last author today is Madalene. Madalene's a world-renowned singer and a music expert, but she wasn't, I mean, she had the talent, but her life wasn't always that way. So I'm going to let Madalene take our last 3 minutes here, and then we'll wrap everything up very quickly to end the show today.
Hi. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Thanks, Red. First of all, I just want to say, Red, you've done a fantastic job in hosting. Honestly, you're amazing. Seriously. And the way that you've helped Dr. JACALYN being the rock for Adversity to Awesome, you're amazing. I just want to say that to you. And of course, Dr. JACALYN, thank you so much for giving the platform. Okay, so basically, yeah, I've come from, the problem with my life previously was I led myself, and I'm responsible for that, in situations where I was raped, gang raped, where I was a people pleaser, where I had racism around me as well. And that's because, honestly, because I wasn't in the now moment. There was many times I got warnings, but I chose to think I knew better. I wasn't connected to my heart, really. And what I feel is what people have to realize now is that you have to be connected to your true, authentic self, meaning your soul, your heart. Because I only started to be connected to my true heart in 2012, when I was visited by a grand cosmic being. Honestly, it was this golden being that just held me, and I felt myself just at ease and comfort with it. And since then, from then, I had to look at my alcohol addiction with association with alcohol, the partying, the constant wanting to be adored and everything. And even in the music business, I was in the music business with a girl-boy group called Steps. And I was told to be literally a puppet and to be someone that I was not. And I felt in my heart this was not the right direction. So even though I came away from that, they made sure that they cut everything around me. They cut everything away from me, where I wasn't able to be friends with them. All I'm going to say is that I help people connect to their soul heart, to their creative heart, so they can have their innocence of a star child, which I am an author of Star Child, which is about saving the planet, awareness, about our thoughts, how we've got to watch our thoughts, how we speak, our actions, our thoughts and words. And you can find me on madalene-chan.com. You can find me on to see my works there. And yeah, I would just say to everybody, please start connecting to your true self, because if you don't, you're going to be living somebody else's life, and you will be suffering on the consequence, cause and effect upon that.
Thank you, Madalene. Very well said.
Thank you, Red. Thank you.
We're down to our last minute, and I'm going to bring Dr. JACALYN back on. She has a chapter that also shares some very private and interesting information, along with everybody else that has done something here today. We're not going to go into detail about it, but buy the book and you'll know stuff that Dr. JACALYN has never shared with anybody in the world until literally right now. So Dr. JACALYN, do you have any closing words for today?
Yes, thank you, Red. I want everyone to buy the book, not because anyone's going to get rich off of it, but because the stories are so genuine and they're so moving that I know there are people out there in this world who are going through similar situations. And I want them to know that there is hope, that our authors today have shared their inspiration. They have been transparent. They have put it all out there for us to see. So our goal is to help other people take your adversity and find your awesomeness. I want to give a special Yes, standing ovation to Red Laughlin, who has spent so much time with me. Red, I really appreciate it. I want to thank your wife as well, because you were working on the weekends, and I know that that wasn't easy. So thank you for everything that you've done to help me on the first book and this book. And I want to give a standing ovation to all of our authors as well. And I am just so grateful that each and every one of you authors has come into my life. And I know we were destined to meet. We met on this platform, which is a true gift to be able to bring people from all over the world together. So keep shining your light, keep being your own lighthouse, and let's stay in touch and see what we can do in the future. But I wish everyone continued success and happiness. And Red, thank you so much. My hat is off to you, my friend.
Again, congratulations on making #1 best-selling Amazon author on the day of your book launch. That is a real accomplishment.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
Thanks to all the authors that helped contribute today. Really appreciate their time. And again, individual thanks to each one of them.
And each one of them has something special to offer. Their contact information is either in the comments now or it will be. Please reach out to them. These are people who have volunteered. They've given their time. They're experts in their fields, and they all have something in common. In addition to overcoming adversity and being truly awesome, is they lead with their heart. Their hearts are open and they want to connect with you. So don't be alone. Don't stay in the house by yourself. Reach out to people and connect, and let's all be part of a movement towards world peace and supporting each other across the world. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Red, thank you for hosting. Thank you to all of our wonderful guests. Let's bring them back as we all get ready to close out. TEUTA's here and Trish is here. All right. Thank you, everybody. You did a great job. I feel like we're on Hollywood Squares. I don't know if you know what that is around the world, but all right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.